Hello, and welcome to today's live stream on Witch Power. I am actually dual casting, meaning I'm recording here and I am live streaming here. So if you see me looking between the two and you see a different setup, that's why. So hello, everyone of Witch Power. I know that I have not been live for a little while, but I'm here now, and I'm excited to give you a great big gift today. And I actually cannot see if I am live. Hello, if you're here, if you could see me, make sure you give me some thumbs up, some hearts. Anyway, I'll just assume that this is streaming live because Facebook sometimes is glitchy like that. So hello. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Tahverlee. I'm a high priestess, a practicing witch, a founder of two different businesses, one called the Moon Temple Mystery School and one is Corporate Cause Agency. And as a social impact entrepreneur and practicing witch, I study the ways in which we can combine all of the things that we desire, which is growth and impact and magic. And so this quest for magic that we are on, this deep desire for more signs, more spiritual growth, more manifestation, more happiness, more peace, more energy alignment, can be found in so many different ways. And today I'm going to break it down for you very simply, and then I'm going to give you an activation at the end. So stay with me if you would like to sink into a greater awareness of yourself, of your own power, of your own magic. And I know that right now, so many of us are craving this quest for magic. And it can be because we have had these ordinary lives for so long and we desire to have the extraordinary. Or maybe something happened in your life that pushed you out of your comfort zone and into a place that made you start to question, is this all there is? So whatever reason brought you into this quest for magic, just know with 100% certainty that you are in the right place in your life and here. Because this is the time that we have this collective energy on the planet increasing, and we can really utilize this energy to change and grow ourselves. Because here's the thing. When we start to experience spiritual highs and more magic and the synchronicities start coming into our life, it feels very supercharged and it's special. And trust me, I love the spiritual highs. But even more important than the spiritual highs are the ways in which we can bring magic into the every mundane human moments of our lives. And this is absolutely possible. The path requires you to surrender, to allow yourself to be undefined for certain periods of time and not know what is on the other side. That's what it requires of you. And to be undefined means that I'm going to release all the labels, all the expectations of others, which is part of what's going to come in the activation I'm going to share with you today. It means truly setting all of that aside to be able to be redefined through the terms of the divine, whether it's to God, Goddess, Divine Mother, Divine Father, whatever it is, or just your higher self. Let your own divinity actually become the definition of who you're becoming. But to do that means becoming undefined. And we do this in many steps, but 3 of them are realizing that, number 1, you have to set aside your beliefs about yourself, about how you define magic, about what you've been taught to believe. Number 2, then you step into a place where you start to experience that the impossible, the miracles, the things that you thought were only real on television and in movies, that you hear other people talk about when they see spirits, that you hear me talk about a lot, that seeing spirits and communicating with your guides and sources outside of you can come into your energy field and actually show you the direction that is for your highest purpose. Those steps require you to let go of what you think is possible for yourself. So these two steps are big. Number one, evaluating and releasing beliefs. Number two, imagining something else is possible, something bigger than you could even consider. And then number three, of course, bringing it into your day-to-day human life so you can experience magic in all the moments. Because spiritual highs are great, wonderful, and amazing. But I don't think that that's the purpose. I think the purpose is for us to actually experience higher levels of magic in order to bring it into our human life and create change for ourselves, for those around us, our communities, our loved ones. And that starts to create a ripple in the world that you cannot possibly measure. But to do that means going back to this stage of being undefined. And it doesn't mean that you're not going to have challenges. It doesn't mean that you're not going to experience, emotions, big events as a human. It just means that the space between these harder moments and these spiritual highs gets larger. And so then these harder moments in life that sit down here in the dense, heavy area, you have a different perspective of them because you've elevated your frequency the majority of the time to a place to where you have a different viewpoint of the things that are challenging. And I know this might seem wild for a lot of people because you're like, well, listen, seeing synchronicities and communicating with my spirit guides and having more magic and manifestation isn't going to change the fact that people in my life get sick and die, or hard things happen, or, there's a lot of war still happening on our planet and genocide. So it's hard to imagine that changing your frequency and your viewpoint is going to take those things away, and it's not. But what it's going to do is give you a different lens at which to see it, to view it. And there's always opportunities to find what good is there that you cannot see. If there's anything you take from this video today, my hope would be that you would bring in this curiosity, this question of what good is here that I cannot see. And this might sound like, a complicated, maybe a more complicated gratitude practice, and it is, for sure. There are many layers to gratitude. In fact, in Extraordinary, in this month, which is May, we are focusing on how to utilize the spontaneous gratitude or the random feelings of gratitude that we have. And we're going to ball it up into an energy, into a frequency, and bring it into our body to change the energy field around our body so that feeling happens more. So the universe, God, Goddess can amaze you with more things to be grateful for. So in Extraordinary, that's what we're doing in May. I'm going to tell you more about what we're doing in June in a few moments. Because if you haven't joined me in Extraordinary, you should. I will put the link in the comments and here in the show notes. This has never been as present in my field as it has been in the last year of my life. And I've talked about this several times, that my mother is aging and she has vascular dementia. And I've traveled back and forth to see her a lot. And I've, done a lot of grieving in the process. And she's now settled in a long-term care facility. And it hasn't been the grief or the sadness or the change that's been hard for me, actually. I mean, that it's hard, don't get me wrong, it hurts my heart, but I have the perspective of evolution, right, of our human bodies, and I know her soul is still stable. It's been all the travel back and forth, right, all the new places, not being near these beautiful altars I have in my home, not being in my magical spaces, and still wanting to stay in the frequency that I like to live in. The frequency that I like to live in is an elevated place where I have good perspective. I'm very self-aware, where I'm connected to nature, where I have a lot of time in stillness. And nothing changes that like travel. And of course, the emotions of not just myself and my mother and my family that's, processing all of this, but also all the emotions of the ancestors in our family that are with my mother. I mean, I'm feeling all of these things. And I just recently took another trip to see my mother. And it's interesting. It was just a short trip in and out to spend a couple of hours for a few days with her. And I had all these creative projects that I was going to do in between visits. And I have them planned out. I had outlines ready. I had all my work stuff. And the moment I got near where my mother was, where I was staying, I felt this like vortex come around me. And, of course, for me, I'm like searching for the spiritual meaning. I'm searching for the tools, or why am I feeling like this, a vortex happening around me? Is it just the emotions? Is it the emotions of my mother? Is it the ancestors? Is it the spirits of the home that I was staying in? Because trust me, the moment I walked into the home I was staying in, there were spirits greeting me like full front and center. But it wasn't any of that. It was this vortex of being present. It was this like deep call to set aside all my expectations of what I thought I was going to do when I was there, and instead just be fully present. And I'm telling you this because when we experience spiritual highs and magic and mystery, we think that we're going to elevate past these experiences, and we don't. We just have different ways in which it comes through our field. For me, in this last trip specifically, it opened a vortex of being so super present. To be so present that even when I wasn't visiting my mother, that I was still present with my mother. So I went an hour in the morning, an hour, at lunch, and an hour in the evening. And in between those times, I didn't do any of the things I had planned to do. I sat in stillness and in meditation, and I stayed connected to my mother. I stayed connected to my ancestors. I stayed present to what was happening right then. And it felt great. And then, of course, life continues on. So I come back, I pick up all the things that I had set aside to do that. But this is what true magic and witch work is knowing that you have the power all the time to choose. You have the power to choose to listen so deeply that you know what vortex, what portal, what frequency, what lens in which to view the situation that you're experiencing. You also learn tools on how to get yourself into that frequency. You may not know how to get into the place of what is needed in that moment, but when you have the tools to shift your energetic field at any point in time in the day, then nothing becomes insurmountable. And I'm speaking on this right now because there's been a lot of posts in both Witch Power and the Psychic Club that's asking for, I want more connection to my spiritual gifts. I want more access to my guides. I want to know who I am. I want to know how to serve. I want to know my spiritual purpose. I want to know what my soul craves. And the only way that we can truly do this quest for magic that we have, because we all have this like deep quest for magic. And as a reminder, it might be because you just got tired of living the ordinary life and you wanted something extraordinary, or something shifted you here, or life got difficult, or you faced a health scare, or you witnessed change around you like we all did in the last couple of years. And you start asking the questions of, is this all there is? Is this all I'm capable of experiencing? All of these things lead us to this place of questing for more. And that questing for more requires us to be undefined. Temporarily. In short spurts and long spurts. It requires us to set aside everything we thought we knew about ourselves and the world. And that's why I'm bringing this activation to you today, is because I want you to experience and feel something at the level of knowing within yourself that isn't about necessarily somebody else's experience. Because in a lot of my Facebook groups and communities, we share our experiences. We share what happened when I saw a spirit in my home and all of a sudden all the pictures on that wall fell off, or what happened when someone came into my home that was uninvited, a spirit that came in uninvited, and what that energetic shift was like in my body. Or even just, I desire something so deeply and I create it, because I create worlds. So do you. Instead of hearing about it, I want you to receive an activation from me that you can take and allow it to be a foundational piece right now, today, whenever it is that you're watching or listening to this, to create transformation for yourself. But of course, this path, this quest for magic, requires you to sacrifice your beliefs, requires you to sacrifice the material gains at which you think is going to develop that next place of spiritual high or giddiness or excitement or happiness. It's not going to be there. It's going to be by allowing yourself to be undefined and then learning the power to define what it is that you desire and then creating that. I know for some of you, you're going to be like, whoa, I just came here to learn how to do candle magic. I just came here to learn how to do a mantra. I just want to connect to my spirit guides. I want to know how to meditate. Yes, yes, and yes, all of those things, yes, are tools. And I recommend you use your tools, but remembering you're the magic. You are the divine soul incarnated in this body at this particular time. And that is magical in itself. So the quest for magic and being able to see magic in all things. Yes, thank you. More, please. And for those that are watching this afterwards, I'm also streaming on Facebook. So you're going to see me switch between the two. So I was just waving. I wasn't waving to somebody out the window. I was waving over here. Hi. Yes, thank you. More, please. And asking these questions of what good is here that I cannot see. I did a series of TikTok videos about how the energy of being a victim and not being in control is one of the biggest blockers we have to manifesting anything we desire, or even crossing the veil into the spirit world and back. The moment we see ourselves as a victim, we give all of our power away. Then it's harder to get to the place that we desire. It's harder to raise that level of frequency. And one of the fastest ways to do that is to ask yourself is what good is here that I cannot see? That is itself an entire magical practice. That is witch work. That is reclamation of witch power. What good is here that I cannot see? It's a foundational practice. All right, so I am going to proceed to a short activation for you, and this is just totally my gift for you. And if you desire to do this work and have support on your quest for magic and know how to bring it into your human life and explore your own barriers, your own blocks, why things are happening in your life that they're happening, and how to build something truly magical, Extraordinary is the place to be. If you choose to not want to live an ordinary life anymore, then you need to join Extraordinary, because it is the path to exploring what does extraordinary living mean to you. We do partner work. May has been all about how to harness the power of a particular energy so we create more of it. In June, we're going to go so deep into how to receive. How does our body receive spiritual communication? And we're going to practice it. We do partner work. We do assignments. You get homework. You get all the tools. This is the place. So if you want a non-ordinary life, then Extraordinary is the place to be, because that's where we're doing the work. So I'll see you in Extraordinary. All right, so if you are not driving or carrying a baby, don't do this while carrying a baby. And I don't know why that came into my field, but if you're not carrying another being and you're not driving and you have a few moments to do this with me, then please do so. If not, feel free to save this, come back to it, mark it, and receive this anytime that you need a reminder of what it feels like to be undefined, so you can become defined based upon what you want that to be, not what others have defined you to be. All right. So now I suggest you gently close your eyes. And go ahead and take a couple of deep breaths in your nose. And release it out your mouth. A little sigh. Maybe wiggle your body wherever you're seated or standing. Wiggle your shoulders just to move any energy that's stuck so you can settle deeper. Take in another deep breath. And with your eyes closed, just receive. Feel this in your body and in your heart. And if any time your mind strays, bring it back to your heart. It's okay if your mind strays. You might even wish to repeat some of what I speak to you today out loud while I'm speaking it. I'm so grateful to be here with you today. I'm so grateful to be in the energy of questing for more magic. You can rest the foundation of your life on your own magic and potential if you so choose. You are the divine, and the divine is you. You have the choice and the power to build and create anything you desire, if only you are willing to allow others' beliefs and opinions of you to be set aside for a moment, to be undefined, and search for your soul's deeper meaning. Can you release anyone else's expectations of you, who they thought you were going to be, who they imprinted you as? Can you liberate yourself from any past versions of who you've been, and when you haven't felt like you did it right? Or when you have felt like you weren't enough, when you have felt like you weren't the magic that can create whatever you want, when you have felt like less. Can you liberate yourself from any past definitions of where you come from being a defining factor in your success? Can you liberate yourself and release any defining factors because of your gender, your sexuality, the size of your body, the way that you dress, the way that you look? Can you liberate yourself from any attachment to that determining your freedom? Can you be undefined in the moment of truth to create your own world, to let your own magic and your own power be felt, seen, and heard? You are not an ordinary being. Your magic and your power is needed here in this time. You have so much more to give than you even thought possible. Your psychic and spiritual gifts are always in your field. They exist in the air, just around the outside of your body, all the way deep into the center of your being. And you can choose to access this infinite knowledge and wisdom that's inside of you and bring it forth into your life, which therefore creates ripples in the lives of others. Yes, the universe can amaze you with magic. Yes, you can request the universe to show you how good it can get. And yes, you can see the good in any situation. In fact, I suspect that every challenging time, every hard thing, every time that you've been sad, devastated, hurt, let down, shamed, that you can now look back and see something good developed in you because of that. And we can't create that goodness out of nothing. That goodness is already within you. The power to create anything you desire, the ability to choose to now be in the driver's seat. You can now choose to be in the driver's seat, no longer being controlled by others' thoughts, decisions, patterns, beliefs, desires, or any projections that have been put upon you. You can now release them. Take a deep breath in your nose. And exhale all the ways in which you have been carrying other people's expectations. That can go now. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, release anyone else's trauma, patterns, or beliefs about you. Let it go. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, release any past versions of yourself that feels like you didn't get it right. Because I'm here to tell you that you've gotten it perfectly right to be here right now. I feel your quest for magic. I feel your quest for more. So I ask you today, can you be undefined a little while longer? Can you open yourself up to receive something deeper, to search for that extraordinary within you that is already there? I ask you to spend time in stillness and in silence, allowing yourself to just breathe. And if you feel the need to process, to think, to let your mind and body get involved in this quietness, ask yourself, what good is here in this moment that I cannot see? And if you find yourself straying into places that don't feel good, ask yourself, what good was there that I didn't see? And then take a breath in and release anything in that moment that wasn't the goodness in that moment. I support your quest for magic. I support your quest for deeper spiritual activation, for your psychic gifts, for your infinite knowledge to be awakened in your body. And I'm here to tell you that all you need to do is ask. Divine Mother, Divine Father, God, Goddess, Universe, I have a request. Please show me how good it can get. Divine Mother, Divine Father, God, Goddess, Higher Self, Universe, show me how my gifts work. Divine Father, Divine Mother, God, Goddess, Universe, Tree, show me how powerful I am. And this will all be true because I speak it, and so it shall be. I ask you to repeat these words now. Because I speak it, so it shall be. Divine Mother, Divine Father, God, Goddess, Universe, show me how amazing my life can be. Show me my magic. Show me my power. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. If you're so called, I invite you to write down anything that you felt as a result of what I was sharing, and let that be your mantra for the next period of time that you are working with this mantra, because we work in cycles. Some people it's a day, some a week, some a month, some a moon. You choose to anchor in this activation with whatever you received from it and use it for the entire cycle. Thank you for being here. I will see you when I see you.